What if just 7 days from now, you could look in the mirror and barely recognize the person staring back, not because you've changed how you look, but because you've transformed who you are. In a world obsessed with slow progress, most people underestimate the power of focused intensity. Become unrecognizable in 1 week is not a fantasy, it's a decision. When you commit to disciplined habits, silence distractions, and channel every ounce of energy toward becoming the best version of yourself, a complete shift begins. This is your wake-up call to rise, reset, and radically evolve. In just 7 days, you can rewrite your standards, shock your comfort zone, and ignite a transformation that others won't believe, and neither will you. Number 1. Radical morning routines create immediate identity shifts. Imagine this. It's 4:59 a.m. The world is still asleep. Silence fills the air. Most people are wrapped in blankets, chasing dreams they may never act on. But not you. You rise, not because it's easy, but because you've made a decision. A decision to break away from the old version of yourself and step into someone new, someone disciplined, someone focused, someone who refuses to settle for mediocrity. It all starts with your morning. Morning routines are not just habits. They are statements, declarations of intent. Every single morning, the first hour of your day whispers to the world who you're becoming. You can either roll out of bed, check your phone, scroll through noise, and let the outside world dictate your mind, or you can own your morning and build the inner foundation of a completely unrecognizable version of yourself. A radical morning routine is not about being productive for productivity's sake. It's about identity, crafting a version of you that is unshakable. Most people believe change takes months or years, but the truth is, your identity begins shifting the moment your habits do. When you wake up early and make powerful choices before the sun even rises, you prove to yourself that you are in control. That mindset alone separates you from 99% of people. The first decision you make after waking up is a vote. A vote for either the future you or the old you. The bed is warm, the snooze button is easy, but transformation never lives in comfort. Radical change starts in discomfort. So when you choose to wake up earlier than you're used to, not because you have to, but because you've decided to show up for yourself, you plant a flag in the ground. You say, today I am becoming different. Today I am becoming powerful. Now, what does a radical morning look like? It doesn't need to be complicated, but it must be intentional. Start with silence, meditation, breathwork, or prayer. Let your mind meet stillness before it meets chaos. Give yourself space to breathe, to listen inwardly before the demands of the day scream at you. This single act calms the nervous system and brings awareness to your thoughts, which is where transformation truly begins. Then, move your body, break your sweat, push your limits, whether it's 50 push-ups, a cold shower followed by yoga, a run in the dark streets, or a full workout. Use your body as a tool to tell your mind, we are no longer weak. We are no longer asleep. We are in motion. We are becoming. Movement ignites energy, and energy shapes identity. Your physical discipline creates mental discipline. Next, feed your mind. Read a few pages of a powerful book. Listen to something uplifting, an audiobook, a motivational message, or spiritual teachings. This is your opportunity to rewire your mindset daily. The words you feed yourself shape the beliefs you carry, and the beliefs you carry dictate the choices you make. Follow it up with journaling or visualization. Write down your intentions, your goals, what you're grateful for, who you're becoming. Visualize yourself walking through the day as the higher version of yourself, strong, confident, clear, and focused. If you do this with intensity, your subconscious begins to accept it as reality, and your body follows that belief. By the time most people are just hitting the snooze button for the second time, you've already meditated, moved, read, and aligned with purpose. That's not just a head start. That's an identity shift. You are literally not the same person as the one who woke up yesterday. The magic is not in the morning itself. It's in the message the morning sends to your soul. I am no longer living passively. I am not a victim of my past or my mood. I am a creator of my future. Let's be honest, 7 days of this level of intensity is not easy. It will feel unnatural. You may feel resistance. Your body will ache. Your mind will beg for comfort. But that's the point. Growth only occurs when the old self is being challenged and dismantled. After just 1 week of showing up for yourself first thing in the morning, your energy will shift. Your decisions will sharpen. Your self-respect will skyrocket. People may not notice it immediately, but you will. And once you taste that internal power, you'll never want to go back. So if you truly want to become unrecognizable in 1 week, begin here. Begin in the silence before the world wakes up. Begin when no one is watching, when it's just you, your willpower, and your why. The world may not understand your discipline. They may call it extreme, but you'll know it's necessary. Because when you change your mornings, you change your identity. And when your identity shifts, your entire life begins to follow. Number 2, disconnect to reconnect with yourself. In today's world, silence has become a rare luxury. We're connected to everything except ourselves. Constant notifications, endless scrolling, noise on every platform. The mind is overstimulated and the soul neglected. We wake up and the first thing we do is check our phones, not our thoughts. We consume the world before we've even said good morning to ourselves. And we wonder why we feel lost, exhausted, anxious or numb. We wonder why we feel like something is missing. The truth is, what's missing is you. If you want to become unrecognizable in 1 week, you must break this invisible addiction to external validation. You must disconnect to reconnect. This is not about throwing away your phone or escaping society. This is about creating intentional space in your day where you come home to yourself. It's about tuning out the volume of the world so you can hear the whisper of your own truth again. Let's be clear. Your phone is not the enemy. The internet is not the villain, but overconsumption is. When every quiet moment is filled with a screen, you don't give your mind time to process, to think, to reflect. You don't let your inner world speak. And that inner world, that's where your transformation begins. So here's your challenge for this week. Unplug for a purpose. Remove the distractions that keep you tethered to who you've always been. Social media, entertainment, gossip, pointless scrolling, comparison traps. Cut them off. Not forever, just for 1 week. 7 days of silence. 7 days of intentional solitude. 7 days of breaking the cycle that keeps you reactive instead of reflective. What happens when you do this? At first, discomfort. Your mind will reach for the phone. Your fingers will crave the swipe. You'll feel a strange emptiness. But beneath that, something beautiful awakens. Awareness. You begin to observe your thoughts instead of drowning in them. You hear the voice of your intuition growing stronger. You notice how much time was being stolen, how much noise you were feeding your soul. And in that silence, something shifts. You start to remember who you are without the world constantly telling you who to be. You remember what peace feels like, not the peace that comes from a perfect life, but the peace that comes from presence. You realize that stillness isn't empty, it's full of answers. You begin reconnecting with your body. You become more sensitive to how you feel, more tuned into what you need. Maybe you go for a walk without music for the first time in years. Maybe you journal your thoughts in the morning instead of reading others' opinions. Maybe you just sit with yourself. No input, no noise. And you finally breathe. And this is the path to clarity. When you disconnect from the external, you reconnect with the internal, and the internal is where all true transformation lives. One of the most dangerous myths of modern life is that you're supposed to always be reachable, always online, always consuming, always on. But you weren't built for that. You were built for rhythm, for balance. You need input, but you also need integration. You need stimulation, but you also need solitude. You need connection, but never at the cost of losing yourself. Take this week to protect your energy like it's sacred, because it is. Turn off notifications, replace social scrolling with soul searching, read a book, sit in nature, meditate in silence. Journal your thoughts, your struggles, your dreams. Ask yourself questions you've been avoiding. Who am I becoming? What do I really want? What's pulling me away from my peace? This is not just about digital detox. This is about identity detox. Letting go of the personas we create online. The pressure to be liked, the fear of missing out, the need for constant updates, all of it clouds your true self. You don't need to be seen by the world to evolve. Sometimes the most powerful growth happens in complete silence, behind the scenes, in the moments no one claps for you, when you're doing the hard, quiet work of rediscovering your soul. By the end of 7 days, you won't be unrecognizable to others because you wore something different or said something louder. You'll be unrecognizable because your energy will be different, more grounded, more clear, more you. And people will feel it. They may not know what changed, but they'll sense that something did. This week, choose to disconnect, not to escape the world, but to reclaim yourself. Reconnect to your voice, your spirit, your inner compass. The person you are meant to become is already inside you, buried under noise, distraction, and external pressure. Peel it back. Silence the world and listen. The answers are not out there, they never were, they're within. But you can only hear them when you choose to disconnect and finally reconnect with you. Number 3, adopt a warrior's diet and discipline. Your body is the vessel of your transformation. If your mind is the sword, then your body is the sheath. Both must be forged with care, strength, and intention. To become unrecognizable in 1 week, you must start treating your body like that of a warrior, not a prisoner of cravings, but a reflection of purpose. And that starts with what you consume. Not just food, but fuel. Not just meals, but meaning. This is where the warrior's diet and discipline begins. We live in a culture where convenience is glorified and discipline is misunderstood. Fast food, endless snacking, emotional eating, all of it dulls your edge. It numbs your senses. It makes you feel heavy, slow, and disconnected from your higher self. But a warrior knows that food is sacred. Every bite either sharpens you or softens you. Every meal is a vote for strength or stagnation. This week you adopt the mindset of a warrior monk. Simplicity, clarity, and control. You eat not for pleasure, but for power. Not to satisfy impulses, but to align with your highest self. You eliminate anything that weakens your resolve. Sugar, processed junk, late-night indulgences, excessive caffeine. You replace it with clean, whole, natural foods, vegetables, lean proteins, healthy fats, hydrating fruits, and healthy teas. You drink water like it's your lifeline, because it is. You view every act of consumption as a decision. Does this bring me closer to who I want to become or further away? This isn't about starving yourself. This is about feeding your mission. A warrior doesn't eat to feel full. They eat to feel ready. Ready to move, to train, to fight the inner battle that keeps trying to pull them back into weakness. When you eat like a warrior, you become more than someone on a diet. You become someone who commands their impulses instead of being enslaved by them. And let's talk about discipline. Because the warrior's diet is not just about food. It's about how you live. Discipline is the heartbeat of identity change. Without it, your goals are just wishes. With it, your goals become inevitabilities. You don't need motivation to be great. You need structure. Discipline starts with intentional choices. Eating at consistent times. Planning your meals. Saying no when no one is watching. Keeping your promises even when your cravings scream otherwise. The warrior's discipline is built in the moments when you could choose comfort, but you choose character instead. Understand this. Every time you say no to a donut, a soda, or a distraction, you're not depriving yourself. You're defining yourself. You're teaching your mind that the old version of you, the one that gave in, that stayed comfortable, that self-sabotaged, is no longer in charge. Every refusal becomes a brick in the new identity you're building. This type of discipline bleeds into every area of your life. You eat better, so you sleep deeper. You sleep deeper, so you wake up sharper. You wake up sharper, so you train harder. You train harder, so you carry yourself with more confidence. You walk with more confidence, and the world begins to respond differently. Why? Because you are different. And it all started with your discipline around food. The warrior's path also includes fasting, not just from food, but from excess, from overindulgence, from mindless consumption, from acting on every desire. Practice time-restricted eating. Give your digestive system time to rest. Let your body burn fat, not just calories. Let your mind learn to function without being constantly sedated by taste and comfort. Fasting teaches you that you are not your hunger. You are the one who observes hunger and decides what to do with it. That is strength. That is power. After just 1 week of eating clean, moving with intention, and refusing to let cravings dictate your destiny, your energy will skyrocket. Your skin will clear, your mood will stabilize. Your discipline will bleed into your thoughts. Your sense of self-respect will be stronger than ever, and most of all, you'll feel free. Free from addiction, free from impulse, free from the version of you that settled for less. People won't just see a change in your body, they'll feel it in your energy, the calm strength, the quiet confidence, the way you walk into a room like someone who's in control of their own life. That's the power of a warrior's diet. That's the result of unwavering discipline. So for the next 7 days, remember, every meal is a message to your future. Every decision to rise above temptation is a declaration of your rebirth. Eat like someone who's going somewhere. Live like someone who's done with average. Fuel your body the way warriors prepare for battle. Because the biggest battle is not out there, it's within. And you're finally ready to win. Number 4, train like your life depends on it. There's something primal that awakens inside a person when they decide to stop playing weak. When they stand in front of the mirror and say, I will no longer negotiate with my laziness. I will no longer let weakness sit on the throne of my life. That shift, that decision, is where everything changes, and it begins with your body. You must train like your life depends on it, because in many ways it does. Training isn't just about building muscle or burning fat. It's about building discipline, endurance, pain tolerance, and grit. It's about proving to yourself every single day that you are not a slave to comfort, that you will do hard things, not because they're easy or fun, but because they forge a stronger, sharper, more resilient version of you, the version you must become to break free from mediocrity. Every drop of sweat, every burning repetition, every early morning where your body screams stay in bed and you choose to rise anyway, that is transformation. That is war. And you must approach your training like a warrior in battle, not a hobbyist looking for convenience. This isn't optional. This isn't negotiable. This is sacred. You train like your life depends on it because your clarity depends on it. Your energy depends on it. Your confidence, your mental health, your courage to face life head on, all of that flows from your physical state. When your body is weak, your mind becomes doubtful. But when your body is powerful, conditioned, and awake, your entire being rises to match that strength. Look around. Most people are sleepwalking through life. slouched, sluggish, distracted, exhausted. But not you, not anymore. You move differently. You carry yourself like someone who has faced their limits and crushed them. You train not just to look better, but to become better. Because when you train with intensity, consistency, and purpose, your entire life transforms. That's a fact. It doesn't matter if you're lifting weights, running stairs, doing martial arts, or pushing through bodyweight circuits. What matters is your mindset. Do you show up when no one's watching? Do you push when your body begs to quit? Do you embrace the pain that breaks your limitations? Your training becomes a metaphor for how you do everything in life. If you go soft in the gym, you go soft in your relationships, in your goals, in your choices. But if you give everything when you train, that energy leaks into every decision you make. You walk with presence, you speak with conviction, you act with power. That's why this isn't about reps or sets, it's about who you become in the process. 1 week of focused, non-negotiable training will change your relationship with yourself. You'll no longer look in the mirror and see someone who tries. You'll see a fighter. You'll see a disciplined soul, someone capable of commanding their body, bending time, and saying, yes, I will show up today, no matter how I feel. Don't chase motivation, chase consistency. Train on the days you don't feel like it, especially on those days. That's where your new identity is born. Anyone can train when it's easy. Warriors train when it's hard, when life is chaotic, when the body is tired, when no one's clapping. That's where greatness lives. In the silence, in the grind. And don't train just for aesthetics. Train for battle. Life will hit you. Storms will come. You will face losses, betrayal, setbacks, and pain. Your physical strength becomes your anchor in those storms. When your body is strong, you don't collapse under pressure. You hold the line. Move every single day. Stretch, run, sweat, lift, breathe deeply. Make your training non-negotiable. Let it become your therapy, your meditation, your war cry. The moment you finish your workout, drenched in sweat, standing tall, with lungs burning and heart pounding, you feel it. I am alive. I am strong. I am unstoppable. You train like your life depends on it, because your future does. The stronger your body becomes, the more powerful your mind becomes. You think clearer. You make bolder decisions. You walk into rooms differently, and soon, the world starts responding to you differently. 1 week. That's all it takes to feel the fire, to change the rhythm, to begin crafting the body and mind of a warrior, not for anyone else, not for likes or looks or labels, but because you owe it to yourself. This isn't about being extreme, this is about becoming exceptional. And the path to that version of you starts on the mat, in the gym, in the street, wherever you choose to push, wherever you decide to train like your life depends on it. Because it does. Number 5, speak less, act more. In a world obsessed with showing, telling, posting, and performing, there is immense power in choosing silence. Not the silence of passivity, but the silence of purpose. The silence of someone who doesn't need to announce their every move because their actions are already speaking volumes. If you truly want to become unrecognizable in 1 week, you must stop talking about what you're going to do and start doing it. There is a quiet strength in restraint. The kind of restraint that doesn't need validation, doesn't chase approval, and doesn't seek applause. When you speak less and act more, you conserve your energy. You stop wasting power on declarations and start pouring it into decisions. Words can inspire, yes, but without action they lose their meaning. They become noise. Think about it. How many times have you heard someone say, I'm going to get in shape, or I'm starting tomorrow, or I'm working on myself, only to watch nothing change? Maybe you've said it yourself. But saying it doesn't make it real. Doing it does. Action is the only language the universe truly respects. Every step you take, every habit you build, every time you show up when it's hard, that's when the shift happens. Not when you talk about changing, but when you walk into change. This week, challenge yourself to go silent about your goals. Don't broadcast your intentions. Don't explain your reasons. Don't defend your decisions. Just move. Let your discipline echo through your routines. Let your consistency make the statement. Let your progress speak in ways no words ever could. You don't need to tell anyone you're working on yourself. They'll feel it. They'll sense the difference in how you carry yourself, in how you respond, in your energy. Real change doesn't need to announce itself. It's felt. It's recognized without explanation. Speaking less is not about shutting down or becoming invisible. It's about becoming intentional. You choose to redirect your energy from performance to presence, from saying to becoming. And in that shift, you develop an inner calm that is unshakable. You begin to trust yourself on a deeper level. You stop needing to convince others because you're already convincing yourself with every disciplined action you take. The truth is, when you talk too much about your goals, you can fall into a psychological trap. Your brain starts to feel rewarded for the intention instead of the execution. You get a dopamine hit from talking about what you might do, which lowers your urgency to actually do it. But when you hold back, when you keep your goals close to your chest and your actions fierce and focused, you build momentum quietly. You stay hungry, you stay grounded. Think of the great warriors, monks, and masters throughout history. They didn't brag. They didn't broadcast. They embodied. Their silence was a form of discipline. Their focus was sacred. And when they moved with purpose. You must now do the same. This week, don't explain your workouts, just train. Don't talk about waking up early, just rise. Don't post about your meditation, just sit in silence. Don't narrate your growth, live it. Let others wonder what you're up to. Let them sense that something's changed, but not know exactly what it is. That mystery, that energy, its power, it's yours, and it grows in silence. Of course, this is not about rejecting communication. Speak when it matters. Encourage others. Share your journey when it's time. But this week is about reclaiming your focus. It's about breaking the cycle of performative progress and anchoring into real progress. The kind that doesn't need an audience. The kind that's built in private through small, consistent, courageous actions. You may find it uncomfortable at first. The urge to post, to share, to announce, it's strong. But every time you resist, you build restraint. You sharpen your edge. You remind yourself that your worth is not measured by how loudly you talk, but by how deeply you commit. In 7 days, you will not be the same. Not because of what you said, but because of what you did. Quietly, consistently, and fiercely. So speak less. Let your silence be your strategy. Let your actions be your voice. And when the week is done, let the results do all the talking. Number 6, set ruthless boundaries and eliminate excuses. If you truly want to become unrecognizable in 1 week, there's a critical truth you must accept. Not everyone and not everything can go with you. Transformation demands space. Space for focus, for discipline, for self-respect. And that means you must set ruthless boundaries with your time, your energy, your habits, and the people around you. You must create an environment where growth is non-negotiable and excuses are not allowed to live. Boundaries are not walls, they are gates. They don't shut people out of anger. They protect the energy you are cultivating. They preserve the mindset you are building. You're not doing this to be harsh. You're doing it because the person you're becoming requires protection from distraction. You must be ruthless, not because you lack compassion, but because you finally have clarity. Look around. How many of your old habits and old conversations are costing you growth? How many just one more time moments have kept you stuck in the same cycle for months or years? Be honest. Most people don't fail because of a lack of desire. They fail because they're surrounded by temptation, convenience, and people who expect them to stay the same. And unless you put up firm, clear boundaries, you'll get dragged back into mediocrity every time you try to rise. This week, decide what you no longer tolerate from yourself and others. Say no to the late night scrolling. Say no to the low energy environments. Say no to the people who mock your progress, doubt your dreams, or feed your distractions. Say no to the part of you that always finds a way to delay, avoid, or justify inaction. Because yes, it's gonna hurt at first. You might feel guilty saying no. You might fear judgment when you draw the line. But here's the truth. You cannot grow if you keep prioritizing comfort over commitment. You don't owe anyone access to your life just because they're used to being there. You owe yourself the opportunity to evolve without apology. And now we must talk about the second half of this principle. Eliminating excuses. Every excuse you've made in the past. I'm too tired. I don't have time. I'll start Monday. All of them are stories your old self wrote to protect its comfort. But comfort is the enemy of transformation. And if you don't kill the excuses, they will quietly kill your progress. Excuses are seductive. They make you feel justified in quitting. They dress up fear and laziness with logic. But if you're serious about becoming unrecognizable in 7 days, you must call them out. Not gently, ruthlessly. Stop negotiating with weakness. Stop making room for reasons. Hold yourself accountable like your life depends on it. Because in many ways it does. The future version of you, the stronger, sharper, more disciplined you, is waiting on the other side of your no mores. No more skipping workouts. No more breaking promises to yourself. No more blaming your past, your circumstances, or your emotions. You're not a victim, you're a creator. And creators don't make excuses. They make adjustments, they make decisions, they move regardless of how they feel. Start by taking full inventory. Who drains you? What habits delay you? What patterns sabotage your growth? Then draw the line. Not tomorrow, today, because clarity without action is useless. Set boundaries with your phone, with your food, with your schedule. Block out time for silence, movement, reflection, and discipline, and guard it like gold. This isn't selfish, this is sacred. People who truly respect you will understand. Those who don't, let them be confused. You're not here to be liked. You're here to become legendary. Remember, success is not built in the grand gestures, it's built in the small, silent decisions to protect your focus, honor your word, and cut off what no longer serves you. It's built in the courage to walk away from distraction and walk toward discipline. Every time you enforce a boundary, you send a message to your subconscious. We are no longer available for self-sabotage. We are becoming something greater. You may lose comfort, connection, even convenience this week, but what you gain is worth infinitely more. Self-respect, momentum, control, and clarity. The kind of clarity that reshapes your life. The kind of control that makes your future undeniable. So set the boundaries, draw the line, burn the excuses. This week is not about becoming slightly better, it's about becoming unrecognizable. And to do that, you must protect the path at all costs. Number 7, visualize the end result every morning and night. The mind is the battlefield, and what you feed it becomes your reality. If you want to become unrecognizable in just 1 week, you must do more than act differently. You must begin to see yourself differently. And that begins with a powerful daily ritual. Visualize the end result every morning and every night. Why morning and night? Because these are the two sacred thresholds of your day. when your mind is most suggestible and your subconscious is most open to influence. In the early morning before the world reaches you, and late at night, just before you fall asleep, your brain enters a calm, receptive state. And it is in that state where belief is born, where change is rooted, where identity begins to take shape, not as a concept, but as a conviction. Each morning when you rise, before reaching for your phone, before the demands of the world begin pulling at you, close your eyes, take a breath, and see the version of yourself you are becoming, not as a fantasy, but as if it is already done. Picture your ideal posture, your energy, your tone of voice. Imagine the way you move throughout your day with calm strength, quiet confidence, and unshakable purpose. Imagine the body that reflects your discipline, the mind that radiates clarity, the spirit that walks with peace. Don't just think it, feel it. What does it feel like to be this version of you? How do you speak to others? How do you treat yourself? How do you handle challenges? See yourself conquering temptation. See yourself smiling after a hard workout. See the inbox cleared, the book read, the progress made, not in theory, but in experience. Your brain cannot distinguish between real experience and vividly imagined experience. So when you visualize with intensity, with emotion, with focus, you program your nervous system to respond as if this version of you already exists. This is not imagination. This is mental rehearsal. Champions, warriors, and high performers across all disciplines use this practice not as an option, but as a weapon. And then, at night, repeat it. Before bed, close your eyes again and return to the vision. But now, replay the wins of the day. Even if they were small, even if they were messy, celebrate them. Lock them into your identity. Then, fast forward again to your future self. Visualize who you're becoming. See it clearly. Sleep with that image burned into your mind. Because the last thing you think about before sleep becomes the blueprint your subconscious mind begins to build overnight. This isn't about manifestation in the magical sense. This is mental conditioning. It's about creating a new default setting in your mind. You've spent years rehearsing doubt, fear, failure, and limitation, oftentimes unconsciously. So if you want to rewrite that story, it must be done deliberately. Every morning and night you are planting seeds, and what you plant, you will harvest. You may wonder, can this really make a difference in 1 week? The answer is yes, but only if you commit. If you do this casually, your mind will remain unconvinced. But if you do it with intensity, if you pour your emotion into the vision, if you anchor that image into your heart every single day, you will start acting in alignment with it. You'll start making decisions not based on who you were, but on who you already believe yourself to be. That's the key. Behavior follows belief. And belief is shaped by repetition, visualization, and emotion. Every time you imagine your higher self with crystal clarity, you move one step closer to becoming them. And then here's the beautiful part. The world will catch up. People will begin to respond to your new energy. Opportunities will seem to appear. Challenges that once broke you will now shape you. Why? Because you are no longer reacting to life. You are creating it. You are showing up each day as if your vision is already real. And eventually, it is. So each morning, visualize who you are becoming. Each night, affirm the path you're walking. And in between, act like it's already done. This single practice, done with fierce commitment, will separate you from who you were and align you with who you are meant to be. You won't just look different. You'll think, feel, speak, and live differently. That's what makes you unrecognizable. Because true transformation doesn't start in the gym. It doesn't start with a new diet. It doesn't start with a new routine. It starts in the mind, in the silence, in the unseen moments when you close your eyes and believe your 7-day rebirth, rise, become, transcend. You began this journey with a simple question: can I, truly become unrecognizable in just 1 week? And the answer now is clear. Yes, you can. But not by changing how you look, by changing how you live. In these 7 days, you've done what most people postpone for years. You've broken cycles, silenced noise, embraced pain, practiced restraint, and reclaimed control. You've trained your body like a warrior, nourished your mind like a monk, and connected with your spirit like a seeker. But remember this, transformation doesn't come with fireworks. It comes quietly, in the early wake-ups, in the moments no one applauds, in the days when you showed up regardless of how you felt. That's where the real magic happened. Not in the extremes, but in the consistency. Those small daily victories will continue to ripple outward into your relationships, your career, your health, and your soul. As you continue on this path, never forget these key truths. Discipline is love in action. When you hold yourself accountable, you're honoring your higher self. Boundaries are sacred. They protect the space where growth happens. Your body is your responsibility. Treat it like a temple, not a trash bin. Silence is power. You don't need to announce your progress. Let your energy speak. Visualization isn't dreaming. It's programming. See it until you become it. Your excuses aren't real. They're just outdated beliefs. Replace them with decisions. You are no longer the same person who began this journey. You've activated something powerful inside you. Something disciplined, deliberate, focused, and sacred. Don't lose it. Feed it every morning with purpose. Guard it every night with reflection. And now, as this week of transformation closes, we offer this moment to realign and give thanks. Take a breath. Bow your head if it feels right. And let these words guide your heart. Closing prayer. Divine Creator, source of strength and stillness, thank you for awakening the power within me. Thank you for the discomfort that shaped me, the silence that taught me, and the challenges that purified me. Grant me the courage to continue on this path with humility and focus. Help me protect my energy from anything that does not serve my purpose. May I rise each day with clarity, train with honor, speak with intention, and move through the world with quiet confidence. May I remember that the person I seek to become already lives within me, waiting not for perfection, but for commitment. Help me silence the lies of limitation and walk boldly in the truth of who I am becoming. As I move forward, may I uplift others with my discipline, lead with compassion, and embody the strength that comes not from force, but from alignment. Amen. Amen. So it is. You are now no longer chasing potential, you are living it. And from this day forward, may you never shrink to fit who you used to be. Continue to evolve, continue to rise, and above all, never forget what you're capable of when you commit fully, even for just 1 week. You are unrecognizable now, and this is only the beginning.